There's a new war happening in the Caucasus region. This is Armenia and Azerbaijan. The war between the two countries began on the 27th of September 2020. It's currently unclear who started the war, but what we do know is that the conflict is over this region, the Republic of Artsakh. This is a self-declared country that has no international recognition, and not even its own ally Armenia recognises the republic. This region is almost entirely populated by ethnic Armenians, however it is internationally recognised as part of Azerbaijan. The Azeris call it Nagorno-Karabakh, however the borders of it are slightly different. So how did we get here, and why are the countries fighting over this region? Most of the fighting between Armenia and Azerbaijan occurs here, along the line of contact, or as it's known in Azerbaijan, the line of occupation, whereas the northern part of the front is dominated by the Murov Dag mountain chain, and so is largely undefended and where little fighting takes place. Now, to understand the conflict, you have to go back towards the end of World War I. Russia is in the midst of a civil war which causes what we now know as Georgia, Armenia and Azerbaijan to secede and form the Transcaucasian Democratic Federative Republic. This new nation was very weak and highly politically unstable. After just a mere month, the federation collapses and they all become independent countries. With the countries no longer united and more vulnerable than ever, Bolshevik Russia exploits the situation and invades. By 1921, all three of the republics had been conquered and absorbed into the new Soviet Union. The Soviet Union quickly draws the new borders of the individual Soviet republics, showing disregard for various ethnic groups in the region, including in Nagorno-Karabakh. You see, although Nagorno-Karabakh was mainly populated by Armenians, although, side note, it did have a small Azeri minority population, however, the Soviets still gave the region to Azerbaijan. Tensions slowly begin to rise throughout the Soviet era, but it was kept under control thanks to the Soviet military. But by the end of 1988, small-scale skirmishes broke out, and by 1991, both Azerbaijan and Armenia had regained their independence from the collapsing Soviet Union. With both countries independent, war began. After 3 years of heavy fighting, between 20 to up to about 40,000 people had died, with about over 1 million civilians displaced from the conflict on both sides. Finally, in 1994, the war stopped but didn't end. The two sides signed a ceasefire, not a peace treaty, which was brokered by Russia, creating a frozen conflict. The border remained relatively peaceful, however there was the occasional skirmish. In 2008, a brief one-day skirmish occurred. In 2016, a 4-day skirmish occurred as well. In July of 2020, another small-scale 4-day skirmish occurred. And finally, today in 2020, an all-out war has begun. What's potentially concerning is the possibility of the conflict to escalate. Armenia is a member of the CSTO, the Collective Security Treaty Organization, or Russia's version of NATO. If a country attacks that country within the organization, the CSTO would be obligated to come to its defense. Russia doesn't recognize Nagorno-Karabakh as a country, and so officially will not help it or Armenia. Though it has been reported that they are selling lots of military equipment to the Armenians, but there have also been reports of the Russians sending arms to Azerbaijan as well. This is highly likely because Russia has admitted to doing this before back in the 2016 border skirmish. Other countries are also taking a stance. Israel is pro-Azerbaijan, sending it drones, along with Turkey, which is heavily pro-Azerbaijan. Some countries, most notably France, claim that Turkey is making the conflict even worse by encouraging the Azeris to drive Armenia from Nagorno-Karabakh rather than just encourage another ceasefire. Azerbaijan is also backed by other Muslim countries such as Pakistan and Afghanistan. What's even more worrying is that there have been reports of some troops from the Turkish-backed Syrian National Army militant group who are being sent to help fight Armenia. On the other side, Christian Lebanese militia are also apparently being sent to help fight Azerbaijan, however both countries deny these claims. What we do know is that the biggest sufferers from this war are the countless civilians in this conflict, being forced to flee their homes they have been in for years, and the many soldiers that are marching to their deaths. Furthermore, the COVID-19 pandemic has completely destroyed the economies of both countries, leaving many people in poverty. And currently both countries are seeing a small rise in coronavirus cases every day, and with more and more troops being sent to the front, it's very sad how poor timing this war is. The countries did recently reach a ceasefire, however it was broken just hours after it came into effect on October 10th. The best solution is to probably send some peacekeeping forces there to stop both from fighting. Let's hope that the fighting ends as soon as possible and that a permanent peace deal can be reached between the two sides.